Affirmation cards are a popular tool often used to help its readers cultivate a growth mindset and to reprogram their subconscious thoughts, their subconscious beliefs about who they are. For that reason, I created the Redefining Her deck of affirmation cards, which were designed to accompany my memoir, Redefining Her, My Journey through self-acceptance and love. And so together, you could purchase them separately or together as a bundle on my website, and we could go into that later. But together, the goal is that readers will be empowered through the lens of my story to find the gems in their story. It's very difficult when we're going through traumatic moments or difficult situations to find the gems, find the lessons that are in our story while you're in the midst of it, right? When you're in the valley, it's hard to see the mountaintop. You just know you're in the valley and you don't want to be there. And so I'm hoping that through the lens of my story, together, the book and the affirmation cards will help you to redefine your journey, redefine your experiences, because unfortunately, a lot of my experiences were not unique to me. And so what I've encountered in my life as I've mentored others is that a lot of times our negative experiences tend to define what the thoughts and what we believe about ourselves, what we believe about the world, and what we believe about our place in the world. And so the hope is that together these will serve as a tool to help you redefine your journey, redefine yourselves, redefine your thoughts and your beliefs about who you are, so that you can show up as an authentic version of who you were created to be, so that you can show up as the best version of who you are, empowered for progress, empowered to succeed, empowered to dream and to achieve. Okay? So the book itself is divided into 3 categories, with the first category being peeling back the layers, where I speak to the different defining moments throughout my life that were informing my posture in the world. The different defining moments that were fueling my thoughts and my beliefs about who I was, which, by the way, spoiler alert, was not authentic. It wasn't real. It was not factual. But again, I'm not going to spoil the book. Read it for yourselves and you'll find out for yourselves. The second part is the disruption phase. It's that phase that I went through where God really took me, through my past, like an audit per se of my experiences that were impacting how I was showing up. So I say he had to give me an audit because it's not like, as a little girl, I went through my experience and, I consciously knew what was fueling how I was showing up. That wasn't the case. As a child, that belief was cemented. And while it was influencing everything that I did, the career I chose, the decisions I made, the habits I cultivated, the dreams I dreamt, the beliefs I had about who I was and what I was capable of. While it subconsciously influenced that, I wasn't consciously walking around and calling myself, not enough, or you're not worthy, etc. It kind of subconsciously flowed and impacted me below the surface. So the disruption moment or period, which is defined as in part 2, is where God took me back to that moment as a little girl, where I first defined myself as not worthy and as not enough. The third part of the book is the redefinition of her. And here I go through the different elements, the different activities that I had to take to get to where I am now. What were the activities that I had to take to reframe my thoughts about who I was and who I am? Not who I was, who I am. Okay? And so that's how the book is divided. It's divided into 3 parts. Synonymously, the deck of affirmation cards is divided into 3 parts as well. And each set of cards are represented by a different symbol on the back. So that's how you differentiate them. Okay, so the first one are the affirmation cards, or maybe I should do this in order. I'll do them in order. I would say the first one are, yeah, that's what it was. The first one are the affirmation, are the reflection cards, actually. So the reflection cards are represented by a mirror on the back, and within that mirror is a face. I don't know how clear it is for you on the camera, but the reflection cards were designed to spark meaningful conversations and, you know, guide you to challenge your thoughts and your beliefs about who you are. And then the reflection cards connect with the peeling back the layers. So you're questioning or you're challenging your thoughts about who you are, your thoughts about, you know, your experiences that you have encountered over the years. The second set are the set of affirmation cards, and this connects, these sets of cards connects with the second phase of the book where I talk through disruption. So the disruption, what affirmation cards does is put a positive light on the disruption itself. And so it is, while we're going through our disruption periods in our lives, the negative experiences, etc., we may feel like hopeless. We may feel like, you know, we can't make it. We may feel like we're not enough, that, you know, it's the end of the world for us, that we just can't achieve that thing that we're trying to achieve, that our circumstances are just not ideal, and then there's no better for us. And so the affirmation cards were designed to affirm who we are in a positive light, right? To help you get out of that rut, right? So because your thoughts influence your habits, and your habits influence your actions, and it's your actions that's what's going to get you through the difficult periods as well. The last set of cards are represented by this compass on the back, and here this corresponds with the third phase of the book, which are the actionable elements that I took to redefine me. Right? So redefining her is about redefining who I thought I was. Okay? It's redefining the thoughts and the beliefs about who I was into who I am authentically. And so redefining her is actually an acronym, and each letter stands for a set of action steps, which are represented on the compass cards. There are a set of action steps. So today I want to talk through, I'll pick one. I'll pick a reflection card. So today's reflection card says, what are the areas of my life that I am playing pint-size, and how can I level up? Can you see that? Ooh, Lord. Here you go. What are the areas of my life that I am playing pint-size, and how can I level up? So to give you full context of what I mean by pint-size is synonymous with a mini-me concept. And so in the book, I refer to it as Half Pint Me. Half Pint is a popular reggae artist that I adore. I love his song. I think he's very talented. And so growing up, it came to my attention that he garnered that name because of his height. He wasn't of the traditional height. He was short. And so kids used to tease him and call him half pint. In other words, he's not a full height. And so I identified with him and adopted that terminology to myself, to primarily because of my experience with my mother, being abandoned by my mother. And, you know, in full context in the book, I talk about it in Peeling Back the Layers, where my mom had came back to Jamaica to bury one of her parents. And I was sitting in that bed, sitting on the bed in the guest room where she was getting ready to come back to the US. And she was using an antique brush and comb set that I wanted her to leave with me. And I asked her for it, and she said no, in a nice way, not in a rude way. But then I interpreted that to mean that she was telling me no because I wasn't worthy of that brush and comb set. And that she was leaving back to the States without me because I was not enough. And so our thoughts can be devastating. Anyhow, I then subconsciously adopted that thought, that belief about who I was, and that impacted how I showed up from that point on until my disruption period. So Pint-Size was the name of the popular regular artist Half Pint. And so I adopted that to kind of define who I was throughout my life until my disruptive moment. So, in all honesty, true story, I can give you an example of an era where I almost played Pint-Size, and that's in the creation of this video. So last week I created a couple lives, and the lives did not save. And I was so frustrated. That coupled with a series of videos that I've done recently and that Instagram would not upload in full context to give my readers and my viewers full context of what I'm talking about. And so my messaging appeared incohesive, and that's a problem for me. And so I started to have these thoughts that maybe, video is not my thing. Maybe lives are not my thing. So maybe I won't do them anymore. And so I had to capture that thought and say, no. I'm not going to allow my thoughts to cripple me. And so I decided to, repurpose that content into a video that will save. So that is how I almost showed up Pint-Size. So I am challenging you to assess your audit and assess your life experiences, assess your belief system about who you are. And, hopefully that will help you to identify the areas of your life where you may not be showing up as a full, authentic version of yourself. Where are you playing small? Where are you playing Pint-Size? And then how can you level up? So what action steps can you take to counteract those incorrect thoughts? And they're incorrect because, God created all of us with power, honey. He created all of us with purpose. So any negative thoughts that tell you you can't or you're not is inaccurate. So where can you cultivate actions to counteract those thoughts about those negative thoughts about who you are? Where can you level up to be the best version of yourself? Here's one thing I found out, right? And I talk about it in my book. In the world of metrics, half pint is equal to a full cup. You don't believe me? Go and research it. So all this time when we are walking around thinking that we're not enough, we're not worthy, we can't achieve those big, bold dreams, you're a full cup. You were created as a full cup. That's my message for you tonight. Hope you have a great evening. Take care.